This prison is the most unique in the world. All the cells are made of glass. In such a completely transparent environment, prisoners cannot even use the bathroom without being monitored. They can even see how many nose hairs a prisoner has. Even more bizarrely, these cells are suspended in the air, making traditional escape methods like digging tunnels completely useless. The number of guards here is several times that of a regular prison, making it nearly impossible to find an opportunity to escape. Ray, as a newcomer, naturally faces the provocation of the old inmates. Just as a conflict was about to break out, a man named Emile appeared, and the other prisoners immediately stepped aside. Emile took the initiative to talk to Ray. However, Ray, being new, knew that all the prisoners here were tough. So before gaining their trust, he didn't want to say too much. But over the next period of time, Emile kept watching Ray because he noticed that Ray always observed his surroundings after arriving. So Emile asked him if he needed help. At first, Ray didn't want to respond, but he soon realized that the security level of this prison was higher than any prison he had seen before, with guards working in 24-hour shifts and no loopholes, making it impossible to escape by going solo. So, after Emile asked again, Ray finally stopped refusing and said he wanted to go to solitary confinement. This request is not difficult. They started to struggle, and soon after, the guards arrived and took Ray to solitary confinement. In solitary confinement, Ray began to observe his surroundings. Suddenly, a strong light shone in. The intensity of the light was so strong that it almost blinded him. But this wasn't just any regular light. It had a heating function, which quickly made the entire room as hot as a molten hell. Despite the pain, Ray endured and continued searching the floor. Finally, he discovered a potential flaw. A week later, Ray and Emile returned to the cells. Emile, curious, asked Ray what he used to do, but Ray wasn't willing to reveal his background. He simply asked Emile to help him find a smooth, round metal piece. What Ray didn't expect was that Emile had actually reported to the guards that someone was planning to escape. Soon, Emile was brought before the warden. When the warden questioned him, Emile remained silent, only drawing a picture of a butt on a piece of paper. The warden realized Emile was mocking him and immediately ordered harsher punishment. After a long time, the warden finally ordered them to stop, and Emile seized the opportunity to crawl under the table and remove a metal cover from the sewer. Seeing Emile's resilience, Ray finally believed in him. He then revealed his true identity and the reason he was here. He came to test the prison's security, but unfortunately, he had fallen into a trap. Someone wanted him to stay here forever, but he didn't believe anyone could trap him. He was determined to escape and uncover the conspiracy behind it. After observing, Ray realized that the prison seemed to be built in an underground crack or cave, but as long as he kept climbing upwards, there would always be an escape route. He also noticed that the floor of solitary confinement was made of steel, not aluminum, which became a deadly flaw. When steel rusts and is heated, it expands and falls off. The metal piece Emile brought could be used to heat the rivets. Once the plan was set, Emile began to create chaos, and Ray seized the opportunity to mold a piece of bread in his hand. As a result, they were once again thrown into solitary confinement. Ray quickly used the metal piece to heat the rivets. Under the light, the rivets soon popped out. He continued to use the same method to remove all the rivets, then placed the bread he had hidden earlier into his mouth and tapped the floor to signal Emile. Upon receiving the signal, Emile immediately started shouting loudly, drawing the warden's attention. Ray took advantage of the moment to cover the camera with the sticky bread and opened the metal plate, crawling into the passageway. He began to climb up through the pipes. Meanwhile, the warden had arrived at the solitary confinement and thought Emile couldn't withstand the prison's harsh punishments. He stood by, enjoying Emile's misery. This, however, gave Ray the perfect opportunity to escape. Unfortunately, he accidentally damaged the cable, causing the water pipes to burst and water flooded in quickly. When he finally climbed up through the pipes, he was shocked to discover that the prison wasn't located in an underground crack or cave at all, but on a huge cargo ship.